Prana Mudra, relaxing the hands down onto the backs of the knees. And with any mudra, they're all different. This one is called the Spirit of Life. And it helps to turn on the inactive energy within the body. So just for a moment, when you take those first few nice centering breaths, breathe into the palm of your hand. And as you breathe out, just try and relax the entire body. And just focus on that sense of touch with the fingertips and the thumb. So it's just a moment of focus towards the mudra, the Prana Mudra. And prana is that life force energy, that pranayama that we breathe in. Pranayama is breathing techniques. And as you center yourself in your space, on your mat, also within the body, just allow the mind to clear from any outside distractions or thoughts that might pull you away from your practice this evening. You can always return to those a little bit later on, or even leave them for tomorrow. But the word of our practice today is strength. And when we talk about strength, people all automatically think of physical strength, that how strong you are if you were to lift something really heavy or carry something or pull something, and having that strength. But there's also inner strength and the strength of the mind. And the inner strength is the supplies that you've got in your bag as you make your way down the twisting and often hard road of life. They include a positive mood, common sense, integrity, inner peace, determination, and a warm heart. And mental strength comes from focus, commitment, dedication. Not allowing yourself to be disturbed when in a task. Having that mental focus. So just bringing all of those different types of strength together in our practice today, that physical strength, inner strength, and also mental strength. Strength of the mind and the body uniting. And if you wish to, throughout your practice today, please feel free to introduce Ujjayi Breath. Ujjayi Breath is that restricted sound at the back of the throat. It's an audible sound on the inhale, audible sound on the exhale. It's almost like you're just about to yawn and the breath travels down the back of the throat. So it's a very warming, very heating breath. Or you can use Samavriti, which is our equal breath. And just taking a moment to think of strength and what it means to you, and setting a sankalpa or an intention for yourself, for your own practice today. And nice and gently, just releasing the mudra. Slowly taking the thumb away from the fingers, stretching into the palms. It's almost like a lotus flower opening up and blooming. Give the fingers a quick wiggle. Take that into the wrists as you circle and rotate the wrists one way and the other. And then drawing that into the shoulders. Nice deep inhale. Circle them up. Exhale, circle back and down. Twice more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Last time. And then gently opening your eyes and just coming into tabletop straight away. Excuse me for clearing my throat. I explained to Sharon and David when I arrived that I just have a coughing fit because I took a sip of tea and it went down the wrong way. So sorry for that. So tabletop position, and we're going to come into cat and cow. So find that breath and also find that mobility within your movement. And the breath starts to initiate that movement through the spine. And last week, we were working on the joints of the body. So definitely not forgetting the joints today, because I'm hoping that whatever work we did last week is going to be taken through to this week when we're starting to use much more strength from the muscles. And taking that last cat, pressing away from the mat, drawing high up into the back, really tucking the tailbone under, and then come back into neutral. Reaching the right foot back behind you and just press into the toe beds and press back with the heel. Try not to lock too much into the back of the knee. Again, just being really nice and soft with your warm-up. And you can reach the left hand away and just find that balance. There's stability within the pelvis. There's a lot of core work, a lot of twists in our practice today. So start engaging into the core to protect the lower back. If you wish to, breathe in, lift the leg, reach the arm away, exhale, knee comes into elbow. Reach out on the inhale. So we do 4 of those. So you want to have nice long sense of fingers reaching away, toes reaching back, and control within your movement. It's not rushed. And then once you've done 4, bring it back into neutral, and then take the left leg back behind you. And again, just take those processes of pressing into the toe beds, engaging the core, reaching that right arm away. And then when you're ready, inhale to lift and reach. Exhale to come into the center. Really curl as much as you can into the spine, dropping the head. So it's a really nice, steady, controlled way of movement. Still strong. You know, these exercises are used throughout Pilates and rehabilitation. Gets the mind working with opposition as well. And then gently, once you finish those 4, just bring yourself back into that tabletop position once more. Coming down onto the forearm, coming into a side plank. So you can drop the hip for a moment and maybe the feet come together. So try to keep the legs together, the feet together. If that's a little bit too much, you can also place the foot in front, or you can place the foot in front of you here. But we're going to press up. So we're going to lift up onto that forearm. Maybe the arm raises up towards the sky. Maybe it stays by the hip. This is your core work. So then start threading that arm through and underneath you. Then bring it back up. So again, just 4 times we thread it through, keeping those hips nice and lifted off of the mat. Keep pressing through the palm and the forearm. Try not to dump too much into the shoulder. Once you've done 4 on that side, come through center, go straight to the opposite side with the right forearm down. And then again, taking that same option with the feet and the legs, thread it through. So really nice control, beautiful. And then once you have finished, come back into center, placing the palms down, tucking the toes and coming up into a high plank. If you wish to here, please do lower the knees and lift up through the core so you're not arching into the lower back. So finding a nice stable position here, press away from the mat and just notice what happens with the elbow joints here as you turn the eye of the elbow forward or out to the side. So you can have a little bit of rotation here. Now, the connecting vinyasas throughout the practice are always your choice, but coming into Chaturanga, come forward, elbows bend towards the ribs, tuck the elbows in towards you, and then release tops of the feet into upward facing dog, and then relax the knees to the mat, and then send it back into child's pose. Nice deep exhale. And as we're there, the head is connected in towards the mat. We've got a lot of standing balances today, as I say. So really think grounding, centering, and strength through the legs. And come back into your intention for a moment. Nice and gently roll up through the spine, come into kneeling. Take a few breaths with the spine nice and long, reaching the crown away towards the sky. And then swing the legs around in front of you. Bring the hands back behind you, upward facing tabletop. So we're going to lift the hips, try to get the knees above the ankles. And there's a nice line all the way from the knees to the shoulders. So again, if this is too deep for you, just drop the hips slightly, but keep the core engaged. Keep lifting through the hips, open through the chest and the shoulders. Maybe the head goes up towards the sky, wherever you feel comfortable. Nice and gently lower the buttocks down and take a quick hug coming off of the wrists. So bringing the arms up in front of you, bringing the legs up into half boat, really, excuse me. Sitting on the sit bones, we're going to take a twist here. So bringing the hands into the heart center. We're going to twist to the right side. We're going to get that little elbow, try to connect it towards the knee. Deep core work. If this is too much, just lower the toes. Okay. And then gently release the hands. This might give you a little tip of where we might be going today. We're turning to the side, a side twist, yeah. Gently come back, give yourself a hug once more. Deep breath out. Then raise the legs, raise the arms once more. Hands come into the heart, take that twist. Right elbow to left knee. Hold and balance, breathe and smile. Take the hands, separate them, shoulder width apart. Spread the palms. Try to get that elbow to connect to the knee. Lovely. And then gently bring it back into center. Release the legs. Give yourself a big hug once more. Swing the legs around all the way onto the belly. Take a cobra. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Press up. Draw the elbows back towards the hips. Hold for a few breaths. Need some strength in some of these poses today. So we're just warming up the core. Nice deep exhale. Tuck the toes. Send the hips straight back. Downward facing dog. Pedal through. One foot at a time. And when you're ready, deep exhale, let both heels release to the mat. Draw in the abdomen, protect the spine. Beautiful. Adho Mukha Svanasana's ladies and gent. Nice and slowly bend into the knees, walk the feet towards the hands at the front of the mat. Take the feet a little hip width apart here, and if you've got blocks handy, you can use those in front of you here. If not, you can place the hands onto the shins or the knees and still work in this way. But just make sure that you've lifted up the toes and you're really feeling that kind of tripod underneath the foot. So the ball of the foot, the outer edge of the little toe and the heel, and then nice and gently relax the toes down. From here, we're going to raise up onto the toes, lengthen through the spine. You might need to come up onto the fingertips, so you've got a nice flat back. If this is too deep for you, lower the feet, bend into the knees. And as you exhale, release the heels down, fold from the hips, forward fold. Few deep breaths. We're going to repeat that twice more. So bringing the hands back up onto the blocks or in front of you. Lift up onto the toes. Lengthen through the spine. Reach away with the crown of the head. The sit bones are pointing back behind you. And then as you exhale, you slowly just lower the heels. Fold from the hips and release the body. Couple of breaths. The legs can always be bent. Last one, bring the hands back up onto the blocks, raise up onto the tiptoes. Nice deep breaths. And then prepare yourself and go a little bit deeper this time. So give yourself a bit more length as you keep reaching away. The heels come down. You've got more and more space between the hips and the thighs and the belly. Let the body fold. And then just bending into the knees, relaxing the body down, and gently and slowly roll up through the spine, thinking about each and every vertebrae as you come up into standing in Sadasana. So as we come up, we just want to feel nice and grounded through the feet. And again, your choice throughout the entire practice is whether you bring the toes together and the heels are just slightly turned out, or you can take the feet hip width apart throughout the entire practice. Okay, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sweep the arms down, chest comes to thighs, reach the arms in front of the shoulders, or for additional challenge, up by the ears. Draw in the core and lengthen back the tailbone. Nice, relax into the shoulders. Deep, deep breaths here. I'm going to take some deep, strong postures today. Exhale, chest to thighs, hands come down to the mat and lift the hips. Deep breaths once more. Nice and gently bring the hands into the heart center. We're going to lift the entire body. You're going to lift from the chest, lift from the head. You're going to come up with a flat back. So I say it's very core heavy today. Bring yourself up to center. I'm going to take a twisted chair. Left elbow, right knee. So think of control throughout all of these postures. Nice smooth movements, nothing's jagged. You can release the hands. One hand goes down to the foot. One hand raises up towards the sky. Twist a little bit more maybe. Try to keep those knees in line. And yeah, this pose when the feet are together is a lot more challenging for balance. Bring the hands back into the heart center in prayer. Stepping the weight into the right leg. We're going to step back with the left. You can lower the knee if you wish to into a twisted lunge, or you might wish to keep that knee off. And then release the hands, come up into Anjanasana, crescent lunge. 3 dips with that back knee. Exhale as you bend. Press through the feet. Bend for 2. Press up. Last one. Bend and press up. This time we straighten through the front leg. So both legs are straight. Maybe that heel relaxes back towards the floor. Bend into the knee. Keep that knee above the ankle. Straighten through the leg. The weight stays directly in the middle. The arms can raise if you wish. Bend once more. Nice and soft through that knee joint. Straighten through the leg. From here, bend and step the left leg forward into a twist. So you're bringing that leg straight up in front of you and you're twisting towards that knee. From here, we step it back. We do 3 of these. So bring yourself up to standing and twist. Exhale back into Anjanasana. Nice control. Bring it up. Last time. Step it back. Nice. Deep breaths. Okay, from here, we do the same thing with the same leg, but we bring it forward. The arms come back. And we press it back into Warrior 3. Bring it forward. It's going to take some balance, mental focus. That's what I talk about as strength. Bring the leg in. Last time, back into Warrior 3 and hold. Few breaths in Warrior 3. Gently fold the body forward, standing splits. Take the legs straight up to the sky behind you. Then we bend in, we crunch into a really small ball. So you're drawing the left knee in towards the right. Extend into those standing splits. Twice more. Draw it all in. Curl into a really tight ball. Press that leg up to the sky on the standing splits. Beautiful. 3 times. And then take it up to the standing splits and hold for a few breaths. Great. Try and relax the head, the neck, the shoulders, the body. Maybe you want to test your balance in these standing splits by taking the hands off. Maybe they take hold of the calf. From your standing splits, with control, release the foot and inhale. Little back bend, palms come together. Warrior 1. Hold for a few breaths. It's getting the heart rate really working. Nice and gently, release the arms over, frame the front foot, connecting vinyasa, your choice, chaturanga, or knees, chin, chest, exhale. Take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back behind you. Knee comes to right elbow. Press it back on the inhale. Exhale, knee comes to left elbow, twist, press it back. Last one, come into the center, come up really high on the foot. Nice. And then place that foot back into downward dog. So again, thinking about the joints and how you move and transition from poses to poses. From downward dog, walk the hands back towards the back of your mat. And as you roll up through the spine, the shoulders come in line with the hips, the arms raise, you come up onto the tiptoes. Send the knees forward first. Lower the buttocks down towards the heels. Take some deep work. And then right arm goes back. Lengthen and just give yourself a twist here to the right arm. And then guess where we're going? Left elbow comes into right knee. Right elbow comes into right hip. Place the palms down. Think about spreading the palms. Think about those eyes of the elbows facing forward. And maybe you come into that side crow pose. Try to keep the feet, the knees, the thighs all connected. And it's a counterbalance here. So the head and the body are counterbalancing the weight of your legs. Nice. And if crow pose is in your practice and you might wish to extend the legs, please do. Please go for it. Nice and gently bring yourself back into center, up onto the tips of the toes. Once more, walk the hands out, lift the hips, exhale, downward dog. Either float forward or walk the feet towards the front of the mat. Exhale when you get there, forward fold. And then bend into the knees, sweep the hands, come back into that Utkatasana. Exhale, sit down into your chair. Strong thighs, strong inner thighs. Relax the shoulders. Nice, deep, deep work. And then exhale, chest comes to thighs. Lift the hips, relax the head and the neck. Hands come into the heart. You're going to press the palms into the chest to raise you up. Nice flat back. And then take that twisted chair to the opposite side. Right elbow, left knee. Release the hands if you wish to. And then bring the hands back together as you shift the weight into the left leg. Right leg goes back into that twisted lunge. Yeah, you can keep the knee off the mat in that twisted lunge if you like, or raise it. Nice and gently, bring yourself up into that crescent lunge once more. 3 drops of the knee, nice and gently to the mat. Bend, press up. Deep leg work, deep ankle joint work. And then we come into straighten the front leg. And what happens with that back heel? You're just balancing. It's very difficult to balance. I know. Challenge, focus, mental attitude, and physical strength. 3 times straightening that leg. And then we take a bend and we sweep up into that twist. Release back with control. Know where you're placing the back foot. Know where you're placing the back arm and your front leg. 3 times. Last time, settle it back and then reach forward, lift the leg. Warrior 3. Bring it into the center. Pull the elbows back. Press back through the heel and the sole of the foot. Bring it into center. It's a little bit like a HIIT style. So it really does get you hot. Use the breath. The last one goes back. Once you've done those 3, fold over the leg, standing splits. The leg may raise up towards the sky and then you draw it all in. Tight, 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 tight ball. Bend both knees as deep as you can. Press up into the standing splits. Beautiful. Twice more. Contract into that ball. Release and extend into the splits. Last time, contract into that ball. And then extend the leg up and hold for a few breaths. Maybe you check your balance here and you can take your hands off and maybe one comes to the calf, maybe both comes to the calf. Have faith in your ankle, nice and slowly. Release that back foot into warrior 1, hands meet above the head, gentle back bend. Release to the mat, connecting vinyasa, your choice, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg, up and back behind you. Knee comes to left elbow on the exhale. Inhale, press it back. Knee comes to right elbow, beautiful twist. Lovely, press it back. Then come into the center, draw it all up underneath you. Come up onto the tiptoes of the back foot and then gently place that foot back at the back of the mat into downward dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet, forward fold. Roll up through the spine, and as the shoulders come up into Utkatasana, you raise up onto the tiptoes. Find that balance. Maybe the arms are out in front of you to give you support. Bend the knees. Send the knees straight forward. Nice slow lower. And then reach the right arm up towards the sky. Stretch through the front body. And then come into that side crow. So the right elbow connects to the left knee. And the left elbow connects to the back of the hip. And then you bring the hands down. Keep the feet, knees, thighs connected. And again, if side crow is in your practice and you go for a modification, please find that for yourself. So again, just use the core, keep lift into the body. And if you fall out of side crow for whatever, just try and take it again. And then nice and gently come back into the center. Walk the hands out. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 or 4 breaths here. And then come down to child's pose when you are ready and you need to. We'll all meet there before we go to the next part. Looking strong today, guys. Really strong work. This is where, all that work last week into our joints, we need them now. There's a lot of strength and going through our ankles and our knee joints in these practices. How are we doing? Are we good? Okay, guess what? We're going to do all that again, but a little bit faster. So it just smooths and transitions. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk or hop the feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, when you get there, forward fold. Sweep the hands. Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit down. Draw the abdomen in. Exhale, chest to thighs. Hands come into the heart. Lift the heart with the hands. Flat back, raise up. Twist to the right. Left elbow comes down. Sweep the hands open to the sky and to the floor. Bring them back into center. Shift the weight, right leg. Step it back. High or low lunge. Sweep straight up into that crescent lunge. 3 bends. Drop the knees. Nice and slow. Slow and controlled. Beautiful. Then we come into that 3 extensions through the front leg. So maybe that back leg is coming a little bit further down. You're getting both feet grounded. So you bend and then you straighten gently through the front leg. Nice. So you've got to think of not popping into the back of the knee here. Really, really important not to snap it back into place, especially if you suffer with hypermobility within the joints. From here, take the bend into Anjanasana, then bring it up, straight there, balance. Straight back into lunge, you've got it, controlled. Straight up into balance. 3 times. Get the heart rate going. Last time. Bend forward into warrior 3. Bring it forward. Step it back into warrior 3. 3 times. Nice and controlled. Think strong. On the last warrior 3, fold the body forward all the way over the front leg. Maybe those splits are getting a little bit closer now. Draw in, tight ball, bend everything in towards one another like we did that eagle last week. Send the leg up towards the sky. Crouching tiger. Lengthen that leg away on the extension. Crouch in for the final and third time, and then hold for a few breaths into the splits. Maybe you check your balance here. And then step it back nice and gently with control. Inhale into warrior one. Release the hands, connecting vinyasa. Take it back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg straight up and back behind you. Those 3 knees come into the right elbow for the first one. Then the twist on the second one. Then into the chin on the third one. And then gently press it back into downward dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. We're going to roll up through the spine. We're going to go straight up onto the toes. Going to bend the knees. We're going to go all the way down. Reach the right arm back. Stretch up and open and twist. And then come into that side crow. Come back into center. Walk the hands out. Exhale, downward dog. Take a few deep breaths or come into child's pose if you need to before we come to the other side. Walk or float the feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, when you get there, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms by the side. Utkatasana, chair pose. Think strong thoughts. Exhale, forward fold. Hands together at the heart. Press the hands into the sternum to lift the body. Nice flat back raises. And right elbow to left knee. Twisted chair. Release the arms if you feel comfortable. One to the sky, one to the mat. Bring them back together. Step back right leg. Twisted lunge. Takes a bit of control, even that step back. Yeah, then bring the arms up into that crescent lunge once more on that side. 3 lowers. So you just lower the knee about an inch off the mat. Try not to send that front knee too far forward of the ankle. Good work. Once you've done the 3 bends, then we do the 3 straightens through the front leg. So what happens when we straighten through the front leg is this back heel might start to drop. Once you've done 3, sweep it up. Twisted, lift. Step it back, lunge. Raise up, twist. Stabilize, find the balance, find the drishti. Step back. Twist up and lift. And take it back into that high lunge. Step it forward. Warrior 3. Then pull it into the front 3 times. Press back through the foot and heel. Bring it into center. 3 times. And on that 3rd time, send the weight forward. Standing splits. Leg lifts up behind you. Then crouch in, bend, bend, bend. Come all into a tight, tight ball. And then extend the leg. Draw it all in. Tight, tight ball. And extend. It's almost like that flower that I said, it closes into itself and then it blooms and opens. On the 3rd extension, take your balance as you need to. Maybe one hand comes off, maybe both. And then with control, as you raise the body, the back leg goes back behind you, plants itself, and you bend into the front knee. Warrior 1, open through the chest, square the hips off to the front. Release over the front leg. Take your choice of connecting vinyasa, chaturanga or ground position. Take it back, downward facing dog on that exhale, preparing to raise the left leg up and back behind you. Knee comes into left elbow. Press back on the inhale. Knee comes into right elbow. Beautiful twist in the body. Send it up on the inhale. Last one comes all the way in. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And then gently place the foot back to the right in that downward dog. Walk the hands back, forward fold, roll up through the spine. As the arms raise, the feet raise, send the knees directly forward. You're lowering the hips. Hover a little. Stay and breathe a little. And then release the arm. Oh, I was dying there. I don't know about you. And then come into that side crow. We're almost there, guys. Great, great work. Find the side crow. Take modifications as you need to, of course. This is all about your practice. Great. And then bring it back into center. Walk the hands out. And if you wish to do one final connecting vinyasa, this is the last of our flow. You can add that in now, or maybe you just want to come to child's pose. You're right, David. Oh dear. And once you've taken a few deep breaths in downward dog, just relax in child's pose. I've never had the thumbs down on a class before. Oh dear. I just thought we needed to get a little bit hot and sweaty and, get that heart rate going. Yeah, exactly. Okay, how are we doing? You've done all your flow. You've done all the hard work. You have really, really well. Okay, and just roll up to kneeling. Take a few breaths. Just realign through the spine. Just take a few moments. Swing the legs around in front of you. Seated forward fold. Active engagement of the legs and the muscles. Inhale, arms raised, fold from the hips, reach long. Exhale, come down to wherever you feel comfortable. Give yourself a wiggle so you get even more room to fold. Few breaths. Nice and gently reach the arms past the feet. Inhale, nice flat back brings you up. Release the hands back behind you. Bend the knees, upward facing tabletop. Lift the hips. And gently release the hips down. Left leg comes out in front. Right foot comes into the thigh. Engage the leg in front of you. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, fold over the front leg, head to knee pose, Shavasana. Deep exhale. And then if your hands are either on the shin or the foot, we're going to start to rotate through the spine, and we're going to raise that top left arm up towards the sky, and then maybe it comes over the head and you reach towards that front foot. So think about and imagine the hand is going way past the toes. Even if it isn't, it's okay. Just imagine it is. Open and rotate through the chest. And then slowly release that hand back behind you. We're going to press the hips up. You can turn the toes to face the front, and like a kneeling wild thing. And come back into center. Take the feet wide. It's okay, David, we're not coming into wide leg forward bend. And swap to the other side. He already hates me for this class. I don't want to give it to you again. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, reach long, fold over the leg. Relax the head and the neck down. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then wherever the hands are, either on the feet or the shin or the ankle, again, lift the right arm up towards the sky, and it may come over the head. And then rotate through the rib cage. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the sky. It's a deep opening into the ribs, so go easy into your spine here. Nice and gently bring the hand back behind you. Press the hips. Maybe the front foot goes towards the way your hips are facing, and lift up through the chest. Just to give yourself a big, big stretch. And gently bring it back into center. And just bring the legs in front of you, hands back behind you, and just windscreen wiper the legs out to the side. Okay. So, coming back into that wonderful boat pose, we're just going to do a little bit more extension work into the hips and the spine in this. So when we're in boat pose, really want to be sitting on those pointy kind of the sit bones that are the pointy parts of the pelvis. So when we're upright, we can't lift the legs. We have to come back, but we don't want to slouch. We want to keep the spine nice and long. So maybe one foot stays down and you just work with one foot. That's okay. So you can rotate, you can opposition the legs if you wish, or you can just hold the boat with both feet raised. Think about that lift into the spine and know where everything's coming into. Is it coming into the core? Is it coming into the back? Is it coming into the thighs or the hip flexors? Do something that changes it for you, that makes it comfortable. And if that's just a smile and some breath, great. And if you wish to, you can extend the toes and keep the chest lifted. The gaze goes up towards the toes. Fingers reach towards the toes. Nice. Keep lifting through the chest. And gently lower the legs. Give yourself a big hug. Ooh, nice deep exhale. Swing the legs around behind you. Exhale all the way to the mat. Going to come into just a couple of back extension work, but the main one is Locust. So whatever your choice of Locust pose is, or Shavasana, maybe it's with the hands underneath the body, or maybe the hands come back and you interlace and you just work with the upper body. And hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Going to need some strength to lift the body up. Beautiful. And if the hands are interlaced behind the buttocks, press the knuckles back towards the feet. And maybe the feet are raising, maybe they're pressing down in towards the mat. And once you've had your 3 to 5 breaths, gently lower and relax the hands. Take a few breaths of release here. Shake it out into the hips. And I want you to take your choice next of back extension. So that could be Sphinx, it could be Cobra, it could be Upward Dog, it could be Bow. So you choose what your back extension you would like to practice. Great. And if you're in that bow, try to keep those knees coming towards one another, but hip width apart, and the feet are hip width apart. So the hands are holding on to the feet or the ankles, and you're pressing the feet in towards the hands. Beautiful. Lift the heart. Smile in bow. It really does help. Nice and gently relax. Take a few breaths as you let go in prone. And then nice and gently press yourself back through tabletop, through child's pose, roll up to kneeling, and then again, just give yourself that time to let the spine slot into place almost, find alignment from crown of the head right down to the hips. And then if you need to, pop something warm on. We're going to come down onto the back. But before you roll down, take it really nice and slowly. Count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And if you're still dressing, you still get to do this. So roll down for 10. And when you get to the mat after your 10, then you can draw the knees in, roll and massage out through the spine. So left leg goes along the mat, right leg presses up towards the sky. So think of a 90-degree here. And this is your warrior 3. So the arms might come above the head. And if you wish, you can interlace the fingers and make that little steeple mudra with the index finger, and you can reach the arms back. So as we're in this warrior 3, this is where we were when we were standing. So you want to feel strong and engaged and active in the pose. And then nice and slowly, just bend into the knee. The thigh stays exactly where it is, so the knee is right above the hip. Release the hands. Take the left hand to the knee, and then just bring it across the body. And again, this is where we were in that standing pose, from the lunge to the standing twist. And then extend from the knee. So you can extend the leg. You can flex into both feet if you wish to. You might be supporting it with the hand, a strap, or a block. And nice and slowly hold on to that leg as you bring it up into center. Realign through the hips and the pelvis, and then draw the body in towards the leg and the leg in towards the body. This is your standing splits. So maybe it's just the head and the shoulders that come off the mat. Maybe it's just the head. And then nice and slowly bend into the knee and draw the left to meet the right. So take right leg along the mat, left leg raises, arms come up above the head, mudra with the interlace the fingers, point the finger back behind you. Stay for a few breaths in Warrior 3. And then gently just bend from the knee. The thigh stays exactly where it is, so the knee still remains above the hip. The right hand comes to the left knee and you take it straight across. And then extend from the knee. Oops, I'm going to kick my screen over. Maybe you hold on to the foot or the calf or the thigh, and then hold on to that leg as you bring it up into center. Bring the head and the body to meet the leg and the leg to meet the head and the body. Try and reach that underneath leg along the mat. Maybe the head and shoulders come off, or just maybe the head, or maybe you keep the head down onto the mat. Gently bend at the knee and draw the right knee in towards the chest. Roll and massage out through the spine. And then just take the hands onto the knees and just circle the knees out to the sides nice and slowly. And just think about the hip joints here, because the hips have been really critical throughout our entire practice today. Even though we've been doing a lot of standing work and we've been focusing on balance, the hips have been taking a bit of work as well. So coming into happy baby, feet raise up to the sky, knees come to the outer edges of your rib cage and of your mat. And maybe you like to start happy baby just by rocking from side to side. And then you can bring it back into center and then lengthen the tailbone along the mat. Hold in happy baby for a few breaths. Gently release the hands, release the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Turn the toes in, heels out, knees just gently come in towards one another. Take a few breaths in a rest pose. Notice what's going on within the legs and the hips, and all of the muscles are probably very excited right now, and lots of nerve endings going through the muscles after those leg extension work. Bring the heels into hip width apart. Press the soles of the feet down. Press through the mat. Lift the hips into bridge pose. Now, your choice here. If you wish to interlace the fingers underneath, you can roll a little bit further onto the back of the shoulders. And again, your choice. If you wish to, lift the right leg, press the sole away up towards the sky. Keep lifting the hips. So when we lift the leg, we don't want to drop the hips down. We want to press even further up towards the sky. Nice and slowly release that leg. Make sure it's nice and stable before lifting the other. And again, flex through the ankle here. So you're really pressing energy through the sole of the foot. The foot just isn't limp at the top of the leg. You've got active energy, prana, flowing up to the feet. Lift the hips. Nice and slowly release the foot. One last press into that bridge pose. And gently release the hands if they were interlaced underneath you. Roll down nice and slowly all the way to the mat. And take an inversion here of your choice. So either shoulder stand or dead bug. So maybe you wish to do a supported shoulder stand or on the block or a bolster, or maybe you just like to do dead bug. And this is our final posture before we come into Shavasana. And if you're still in shoulder stand, you might wish to take it back into Halasana and roll down through the spine. Just do what you need to come out of the pose. And if you're in dead bug, you might wish to just rotate the wrists and the ankles. They have taken a lot today. Side crow, arm balances, lots of downward dogs, planks and all. So the joints have really served you well. And draw the knees in towards the chest and take time to come into your final relaxation of Shavasana. No rush at all. Just make sure you're nice and warm and comfortable, because I probably expect you might have worked up just a little bit of a sweat today. I did. And I wasn't doing half as much as you. So a much deserved Shavasana. I thought it had been a while since we did, quite a challenging dynamic practice. And I feel, we're building up our repertoire of practices now, of really focusing on different areas within the body and how they affect us within our asana. And so when we worked with the nervous system a couple of weeks ago, we were obviously coming into that parasympathetic nervous system. And sometimes in yoga, we can still come into our sympathetic nervous system. Certainly when, I've put some challenging balances in there and arm balances like crow or side crow, then our sympathetic, our fight or flight response might kick in. So that's where we have that ability to have inner strength to cope with what comes up next for us and how we cope with it. You build inner strength through embracing the totality of your experience, both the delightful parts and the difficult parts. Embracing the totality of your experience is one definition of having loving kindness for yourself. Loving kindness for yourself does not mean making sure you're feeling good all the time or trying to set up your life so that you're comfortable every moment. Rather, it means setting up your life so that you have time for meditation and self-reflection, for kind-hearted, compassionate self-honesty. And in this way, you become more attuned to seeing when you're biting the hook, when you're getting caught in the undertow of emotions, when you're grasping, and when you're letting go. This is the way you become a true friend to yourself, just as you are, with both your laziness and your bravery working as one. I'll leave you for a couple of minutes silence in Shavasana, and I'll sound the bowl when we're ready to end our practice together. As you begin to deepen your breath, to bring awareness back into your space, onto your mat, and to bring movement back into the hands and the feet and the head. Give yourself a big stretch should you need to, or just gently draw the knees in towards the chest. And taking time here to roll over to one side, returning back into our comfortable seat with the hands in Anjali. And as you sit nice and tall, relaxed yet firm posture. Just check in with the body, check in with the mind. Notice any differences that may have come up for you throughout the practice today. And also your own intention that resonated with you at the beginning of practice about strength, that inner, that mental strength, that physical strength. And whatever that intention or sankalpa was, how you can then take that into your daily life. Taking yoga with you as you go, finding strength in everything you do. And giving thanks and gratitude to your amazing body today for putting you through your paces probably a little bit and, giving you that time to exert some energy. And I thank you all so much for your wonderful commitment to practice.